The age between us was once a silent whisper in crowded rooms, an invisible thread pulled tight with every glance, every shared breath. She would sit with the grace of a woman who has lived, her hands gently resting in her lap, fingers etched with stories I was eager to read. There was a calm to her presence, a sovereignty, like time bowed in her honor. I, drawn in a foolish fascination at first, soon found myself captive in awe, not because she was older, but because she carried the world differently. She didn't chase the moment, she commanded it. I still remember the first time she laughed at something I said, truly laughed. It wasn't girlish or coy, it was whole and unfiltered, the kind of sound that vibrated in the bones. That moment anchored me. It made me realize that she was not someone who needed to impress. She had passed that season of performance. Her beauty wasn't rehearsed. It was deeply rooted, cultivated like the sacred gardens my mother once spoke of in desert tales. She was already enough, and in her quiet assurance, I found my own voice beginning to rise. There were evenings when she would speak of her past, not boastfully, but with the subtle strength of someone who has felt pain and still chooses softness. The stories she told weren't just of travels or lost love or books that changed her. They were stories that echoed resilience, decisions carved in silence, victories no one applauded but still mattered. I would listen like a student learning from a master. Not just to the words, but to her pauses, her inflections, her deliberate silences. Every moment was a lesson in depth, in dignity, in devotion. Sometimes I feared that people wouldn't understand. That they would see the lines near her eyes and question my passion, thinking youth seeks youth. But they could not see what I saw. How she carried time like a gift, not a burden. How she moved with purpose instead of urgency. How she made me better by simply existing beside me. Their eyes would look for symmetry. Mine searched for gravity, and she kept me grounded in ways no fleeting flame could ever offer. With her, love wasn't a thrill. It was a legacy being built with every sunrise we chose to witness together. When she touches me, it's never accidental. Her fingers trail with intention, like an artist brushing over a canvas she already sees complete. She doesn't rush to possess, but rather to understand. There is patience in her love, and that is the greatest seduction of all. She doesn't beg for attention, she earns it without trying. And I, younger but not naive, find myself chasing her still, not because she runs, but because her spirit moves with wind, wild and impossible to hold in one hand. Nights with her are quieter. We don't seek noise to feel alive. We light candles, pour tea, read poetry aloud in turns. She challenges me to think wider, feel deeper. She opens books with marginalia left behind by her former self, and I marvel at the layers I've yet to touch. Her past doesn't intimidate me, it draws me in. Every ex-lover she's mourned, every dream she once had, every mistake, they have sculpted the woman I now love, and I am grateful to them all, even the pain. In her wardrobe hangs elegance, not in the designer labels, but in the way her clothes fall on her frame like they were made only for her. She dresses not to impress, but to reflect. Every silk blouse, every linen wrap carries with it a piece of her journey. When she turns before the mirror, she is not asking, "Do I look good?" She is saying, "This is who I am today," and I, every time, find myself stunned. Not by what she wears, but by how she wears time, fearlessly. She never tried to make me older, nor did she shy away from my youth. Instead, she honored it, letting me be spontaneous, reckless, even foolish, while she stood there smiling like she'd once been all those things and had loved every part of herself then, too. With her, I never felt lesser. I felt expanded. She made me realize that maturity isn't bound to age, it's bound to choice. And her choice, always, is love expressed with presence and pride. There are moments, rare and golden, when we walk through the world hand in hand, and someone mistakes her for my mentor or my sister or an old friend from another life. We don't correct them. We smile. Because what we share doesn't require labels or permission. It exists outside expectations. She is my peace. She is my fire. She is my future, even if she's lived more of her life than I have lived mine. Time bends for love like ours. It does not diminish. It deepens. Some nights she watches me sleep. I know this because I wake and find her eyes already on me, a small smile tugging at her lips, as if she's seen something precious in a dream. She once told me that loving me reminded her of believing again, of dancing barefoot after years of walking carefully. That made me weep quietly into her collarbone, holding her tighter. Because she thought she was the gift, not realizing that her very breath had rescued me from a life too shallow, too distracted. She is older, yes. But I adore her not despite that, because of it. Because every line on her face is a story I wasn't there to witness, but now get to honor. Every sign she releases is a prayer I didn't pray, but now get to hear. Every step she takes is a choice to walk beside me, when she has every right to walk alone. I don't just love her. I admire her. I worship her in the quiet, holy way that makes no demands and asks only this: let me be the man worthy of your days. And when she closes her eyes against my chest, when the world quiets and it is just us, two souls at different points on the map of life, I feel the universe fold in around us. Time, age, rules, norms, they vanish. In that silence, we are not young or old, we are not men or women or anything confined. We are just love. Pure. Fearless. Undeniable. And I, in every breath, vow to keep choosing her. Always. Until all the clocks stop ticking. Sometimes I wonder if she knows the way her silence teaches me. There is a kind of power in the way she simply listens, not to respond, not to win, but to witness. When I ramble about dreams or doubts, she never interrupts, never offers advice until I ask. Her stillness wraps around me like a safe place, and in her eyes, I see a kind of patience that doesn't come easily in this hurried world. She has lived enough to know that most answers come not from speaking, but from waiting. And in her